My boyfriend proposed with a fake ring to see if I was shallow, so I said yes, and then revealed I knew it was cubic zirconia. The words played through my mind like a perfectly crafted screenplay, a narrative of delicious revenge that was about to unfold at our engagement party, an event he had insisted upon with the enthusiasm of a man who believed he had already won. For weeks leading up to the proposal, my boyfriend, Jake, had been weaving a strange tapestry of comments into our conversations, subtle threads about the nature of true love and the importance of valuing a person for their character rather than their possessions. He would tell me anecdotes about friends whose relationships had failed because of materialism, sighing dramatically about how modern romance was corrupted by financial expectations, and how a woman's reaction to a proposal should be about the commitment, not the carrot weight. These conversations always felt slightly off, like a test I hadn't studied for, but I dismissed them as pre-proposal jitters until the day he took me for a romantic picnic in the very park where we had our first date. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over everything, and he got down on one knee with a velvet box from a famously exclusive jeweler, his eyes shining with what I now know was performative emotion rather than genuine feeling. He opened the box to reveal a stunning, brilliantly cut solitaire diamond that was so large it was almost comical, a stone that should have cost more than his annual salary, and he asked me to spend the rest of my life with him. My initial reaction was a genuine surge of joy, immediately followed by a cold, sinking sensation in the pit of my stomach, because my profession as a certified gemologist allowed me to identify the telltale signs of cubic zirconia from 3 feet away. The fire was wrong, the sharpness of the facets was slightly soft, and the color was a little too perfect, a little too white. I saw the eager, testing look in his eyes, the way he was watching my reaction to the ring itself rather than to the proposal. And in that moment, every one of his previous comments about shallow women clicked into place with horrifying clarity. This wasn't a romantic gesture, it was a trap, a pathetic little loyalty test devised by a deeply insecure man to either validate his own biases or, worse, to secure a partner he could manipulate by establishing this bizarre moral high ground from day one. I made a split-second decision, masking my shock and disappointment behind a facade of tearful euphoria, throwing my arms around his neck and gushing about the beautiful ring and how, yes, of course, 1,000 times yes, I would marry him. He practically preened with satisfaction, hugging me tightly and whispering, "I knew you were different. I knew you weren't like those other girls," a statement that made my skin crawl because it confirmed my every suspicion. In the days that followed, he was insufferably proud of himself, constantly touching the ring on my finger and making smug comments to his friends about how some women just get it, all while planning an enormous engagement party to showcase our love to his entire social circle. He spared no expense on the party itself, booking a trendy rooftop venue, hiring an expensive DJ, and ordering custom cocktails, all while I wore his cheap, fake ring and smiled until my face ached, playing the part of the blissfully ignorant fiancé. Meanwhile, I was conducting my own background research, my trust in him completely shattered by his juvenile test. I hired a discreet private investigator, a decision that felt extreme but necessary after such a profound betrayal of authenticity. I needed to know who I was really dealing with, what other lies or manipulations might be lurking beneath the surface of our 2-year relationship. The private investigator's report arrived a week before the party, and its contents were more damning than I could have ever imagined. It turned out Jake was drowning in debt, tens of thousands of dollars owed on credit cards and personal loans, all spent on maintaining a lavish lifestyle he couldn't afford. Worse yet, the investigator discovered this wasn't his first time. He had a pattern of pursuing relationships with successful women, proposing with a fake ring to test them, and then, once they were emotionally invested in wearing his symbol of commitment, he would gradually manipulate them into co-signing loans or directly funding his extravagant habits. The empty jewelry box from the renowned designer which I had found so confusing was explained by a receipt for the box itself. He had taken out a payday loan to purchase just the empty box from a second-hand luxury goods site, a truly desperate act to complete his illusion of wealth. The night of the engagement party arrived, and I dressed with meticulous care, choosing a bold red dress that felt like armor, the fake ring sparkling ostentatiously on my hand as I prepared to deliver my performance. The venue was filled with his friends, family, and colleagues, all there to celebrate what they believed was a genuine milestone, while I circulated among them with a serene smile, knowing I held enough dynamite in my purse to demolish Jake's entire, carefully constructed world. The moment came when the DJ called for speeches, and Jake took the microphone first, gushing about our pure love, and how he knew I was the one because I valued the man, not the money, laying the groundwork for his own narrative in front of the entire audience. He handed me the microphone with a proud, patronizing smile, fully expecting me to deliver a simpering, grateful speech about how lucky I was, and that is when I began my carefully orchestrated counterattack. I started sweetly, thanking everyone for coming and expressing how excited I was to marry the man of my dreams, before gracefully pivoting to the ring itself, holding my hand up to the light so it could sparkle for the crowd. And I especially want to thank Jake for choosing such a thoughtful, ethical, and budget-friendly engagement ring. This beautiful cubic zirconia solitaire is just perfect, and it shows how well he knows me. That I would never want something as conflict-ridden and expensive as a real diamond. The room, which had been buzzing with cheerful noise, fell into a dead, stunned silence so complete you could hear the ice melting in glasses. Jake's face underwent a dramatic transformation, cycling from confusion to dawning horror to sheer, unadulterated panic, his skin turning a sickly shade of gray under the party lights. He started to sputter, to move toward me, but I held up my hand to stop him, my voice remaining calm and project perfect, as I continued. It's such a relief to be with a man who values financial transparency, which is why I was so surprised to learn about the $30,000 in credit card debt, the personal loans from 3 different banks, and the payday loan you took out just to buy this empty designer box. I reached into my clutch and pulled out the folded PI report, holding it aloft for a moment before tossing the pages into the air like confetti, letting them flutter down over the horrified guests. Turns out, I concluded, my smile never wavering, the only thing fake about this engagement was the ring and the man who gave it to me. The silence broke into a cacophony of gasps and murmurs, and I calmly slipped the cubic zirconia ring off my finger and dropped it into his champagne flute, where it sank to the bottom with a final, pathetic plink, before I turned and walked out, leaving him utterly and completely destroyed in front of everyone he had ever hoped to impress.